Hi, my name is Nicole. Welcome to the Pine Cottage.
I've got you. You grew old in suburbia, where pretty demons never show.
I am here for the end of June update, and I'm so glad that you are here with me. If you are new here, thank you for joining us, and if you've returned, thank you for doing so. You can find me here on YouTube as The Pine Cottage. You can find me on Instagram at the.pine.cottage, and you can email me if you wish at pinecottagenits@gmail.com. I'm in the process of getting a P.O. box, so if I get one before the next video, I will add it to the description box below. If you like snail mail, feel free to send me a note. Otherwise, those are the places that you can find me. I'm going to talk about some things that I've been working on. I did not finish a whole lot, but that's just the nature of summer, I think, for most of us. I've been spending a lot of time decluttering my house and reorganizing and just simplifying. It's an ongoing process if you are someone who likes to keep things simple and minimal. It's a constant battle to get things out of the house. So I've been spending a lot of time doing that and just enjoying the changing of the season from spring into summer. June wasn't very warm here in Ohio. It was kind of rainy, a little bit cold. We haven't been able to do a whole lot of swimming. We had to reschedule a camping trip. So July is a month that I'm really looking forward to. However, my kids are leaving for camp. So in a couple days, my son will be leaving and he will be gone for 2 weeks. My daughter will be leaving in a week for 2 weeks. So July is pretty much taken up with that. And I am going to miss them dearly, but it gives me an opportunity to go through and clean out any of the junk in their bedrooms without them saying, no, I want to keep that. First thing I want to talk about is finished objects. I only have a half finished object, and it's really not even finished, but it will be finished today, so I'm going to count it. If you know me at all, you know that I like to sneak those in every once in a while that aren't truly finished, but they're pretty much finished. This is my half of a sock that I was working on in my sock video that I posted a couple weeks ago. So if you missed that and you're interested in some new sock patterns or new to you sock patterns, I post 5, well actually 7 sock patterns that you might be interested in knitting this summer. These are the 7 that I chose to knit soon, if not by the end of summer. So this is not one of them. This is just a vanilla sock that I was working on. So this yarn is Hue Loco in Emerald Fields, and the contrasting colorway is Hue Loco in the color Ochre. And this is just a vanilla sock. All I have left is the rest of the toe that I started there, and then I will be done with that one. And I'm not really knitting pairs at a time of socks because I don't feel like it. I get bored after one, and then I'm trying some new patterns, so then I just work on to the next. I'm still working on my Austin socks, and this is a free pattern by Kay Litton, who is also known as the Crazy Sock Lady, and this yarn is Patton's Croy in the colorway Seashells. So this little bin here is full of the socks that I'm working on right now. And actually it's just those 2 socks and all the fixins here. After I'm done with this Austin sock, I'm not going to knit its match. I am going to start another sock pattern that is on my list of socks I want to make, just for variety's sake. And this month's theme, and actually I'm going to carry this theme through the whole summer, is knit what I want to. I don't feel the need to knit what I've set out to knit. In my knitting journal, you know, I have planned what I would like to knit by the end of this month or by the end of summer, or I've set these deadlines for myself, and I just don't feel like knitting the things that I wrote down. So every day, if I have 30 minutes or an hour or the whole day, I'm gonna knit whatever I feel like knitting on at that moment, and I'm not sorry for it. If you're feeling the same, join me in my stubborn knitting theme. Right now, I'm feeling socks, and that's what I'm working on as far as they go. The next thing that I wanted to show you is another work in progress that I cast on, and it wasn't even planned. I did not even plan it at all. I purchased at the Great Lakes Fiber Festival a skein of yarn by Magpie Fibers that is an 80-10-10 base, and it is in the color Ghost Town. And I thought it would make a great Musselburgh hat, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to try to cast it on because I struggled with that in the past. And Natalie from Love and Stitches, Knitty Natty, she posted a tutorial for the Musselburgh cast on using a crochet hook. So I watched that and I was able to cast it on, and I was so excited, and I just kept rolling with it. So when I feel like knitting in the round stockinette with a little bit larger needle than my sock needles, I pull that out, and it's something that I can do while I'm watching TV or chatting with my family, and it's been really enjoyable. So this is that yarn here. And this little charm that I have on here is by Horse Feather Fiber Arts. I've talked about her charms in the past. They are my favorite charms. But I've gotten quite a bit done here, so I have a few more inches before I can start decreasing and then bind off. So I'm really pleased with this, and I will have another hat for the fall. This might be something that I do. I feel like this is the groove that I get into. I knit one pattern sock, I get tired of having to look at a pattern and I need a break. So I either knit a vanilla sock or I need to knit something with stockinette. So I feel like this and my vanilla sock are palette cleansers that I gravitate towards when I need a break from a pattern. So it's nice to have a project where I can just say, okay, brain break, I'm gonna knit on you. So that's what I use this for. And as you see, I've needed a lot of brain breaks. One of the things that I've needed a break from is my no frills pullover. Is that what it's called? Pullover? No frills sweater. So when I spoke to you last about this, I had started the ribbing at the bottom of the sweater. And I am pleased to tell you that I have finished the bottom and I have bound off. So I am now, there's one sleeve there. Here's the other sleeve. So I am halfway down this sleeve. And I thought that I might be done with this sweater by the end of the month, and I just have not picked it up as much as I thought I would. Partially because it's really warm in the house with the weather changing, but also I just haven't been in the mood. I've just wanted to knit on my socks and do some other things around the house, so it's just not something that I've picked up. But I'm hopeful that I will finish it by the end of summer so that I have it ready when the colder weather comes. And I don't think that's too lofty of a goal. I think I can make that happen. So it's something that I'm picking up every now and again. If there's a cooler evening, I might get in the mood for that. So that's where I am with that. I'm not really knitting on my Battenberg blanket because I just haven't felt like it. And you guys, I just want to talk to you a minute about that. Like, I feel like social media, when we're following, you know, on Instagram, it's really easy to fall into the trap of, I need to produce, I need to produce, I need to post this that I finished or that I finished. And I don't want to fall into that trap. I want knitting to be enjoyable, and I want it to stay enjoyable. And for me, it is a way to relax and to clear my mind. And I want it to stay that way. But I have a ton of new projects to show you at the end of the month. I'm okay with that. I'm not a fast knitter. I've said it before. I'm not a machine, nor do I want to be. I've wanted to spend this month baking bread, and cleaning my house and organizing and purging and rearranging my furniture. I've just felt like nesting, working in my yard and my garden, watching my flowers bloom, just spending time doing other things. I encourage you to do the same. I also wanted to say, I hope that these videos don't make you feel like when I show you new things that I've purchased or that have come in the mail or new things I'm working on, have made you feel like I'm encouraging you to go out and purchase these things too. As someone who strives to live a simple life and to live minimally, I don't want to be an influence on you like sometimes I feel social media is for me. I want you to feel like you can be content with what you have, and you should be content with what you have. We all should be. If you feel like I'm influencing you to buy more, or if you ever feel like this channel is full of commercials to go buy something, please don't think that. I never want this channel to feel that way. You know, if down the road I am able to have the opportunity to show you yarn, like I did with the Dark Lake Fiber Arts yarn, it was given to me to try. That's what it is. It's given to me to try, and for me to tell you my take on it, my review of it, how I felt, how I liked it, how I didn't like it, whatever the case may be. It's never me saying you should go buy this. If it's in your budget, and if it's something that you've been looking for, and if you feel like you want to purchase it, go for it. But I never want you to feel like I'm saying, you must go buy this, go buy it, it's the greatest thing ever. There's always going to be something that appeals to you when you are ready. And if you're not ready, or if it's not in your budget right now, or if you're trying to not spend money on yarn right now, don't feel like you're missing out on something. You're not. There's always going to be something beautiful to buy. And that's a lesson that I am continuing to learn myself. Like, there's always going to be something that will fit whatever it is that I need to fill. For instance, I'm in the process of reworking this room so that I have a space to go that is my own. My treadmill is in here. The table where all my makeup and hair supplies is in here, because this is where I get the room that I get ready in the morning is. My yarn is here. Yoga mats, my craft closet. It's all a jumble of a room that serves multiple purposes. And I would like to have a piece of furniture in here for me to sit down. As of right now, all I have is this chair. So before, I didn't have the money to buy something to go in this room. I could have just went on any old website and said, oh, I like that, I'm going to buy that. But it wasn't in my budget, it wasn't the right time, and I didn't love the thing that I saw. Instead, now I have some money saved up and I'm ready to purchase something. I can take my time and look for something that's in my budget that I like, and I found something, and it's going to be on its way here. And I feel like we are very fortunate to live in a world where we can order something at the drop of a hat if we have the budget for it, and it will be delivered to us within not that much time. My whole point is, don't feel like you have to rush out and buy these things that I'm showing you on this channel. You don't. When you're ready, something just as beautiful or even more appropriate for you will be available when it's time. So the fear of missing out on, yarn dyer updates or pre-orders or advent calendars or whatever it is, sometimes you just have to stop and say, something will be available when I'm ready, and I'm not ready right now. At least that's how it is for me, and I just wanted to say that for you, because I don't ever want my channel to be something that becomes a burden for you. I'm just here to share what I'm working on and to form a community with people who like to do the same thing as I do. So that's all I wanted to say about that.
You said it was the last time, but you keep coming back to tell me sorry that you take back all the things you said just to hurt me. Our love just went cold.
I don't really have anything else to show you, but I did post on Instagram about an author that I found several years ago who compiled two anthologies of essays written by other writers about knitting. They're either memories of how knitting came into their life or was introduced to them, or memories of their own knitting experience, or their own failures at knitting, just depending on the author. The author who compiled all of these essays is one that I stumbled across in my journey of grief. And I subscribed at that time to a literary journal called Tin House. And luckily, it is still, you can still find her essay online because Tin House is no longer publishing an actual magazine or journal. So I will put the link to this essay down below. But the title of this essay is 10 Things I Learned from Knitting, and the author is Anne Hood. And she wrote this after the death of her young daughter. I think she was 5 years old. And it really spoke to me at that time in my life. It encompassed all the feelings that I felt about knitting coming into my life, and it made me want to purchase all of her books. So that is the reason why I bought Knitting Pearls, and she has the one before that was Knitting Yarn. I also bought her book of fiction called The Knitting Circle, and they're all very good. So if you haven't read any of them and you like to read about knitting, feel free to check out this essay and see if it's something that you would be interested in. The Knitting Yarn and Knitting Pearls, I don't know what you want to call them, books of essays, as I said, are all by other authors. So you can kind of go through the list, I think, even if you go online, just to see what authors are in there. And some of them you might recognize as authors that you already love. So I always think it's fun to find things that authors have written elsewhere that you don't know about, and then you find and you're like, wow, this is great. It's like finding, $20 in your winter coat beginning of the next season. I just wanted to share that with you. If you're not familiar, it's something that you might like. And I was just scrolling through because it's been a while since I read the essay that I initially found. And I found the beginning of this paragraph. I just have to read it to you. Just the sentence, actually, because I just turned 45 in April. And I was just talking to my husband the other day about how when I turned 40, even before, probably 38, but definitely by 40, I felt like I finally knew who I was, and I was not apologetic for it. I am able to say no to things. No, thank you. I'm able to feel confident in my ability to say no, thank you. And I am okay with doing what I want to do, spending my time how I want to spend it, without feeling obligated to do something because I might hurt someone's feelings or because they're expecting me to, or any of those things. And this must be a common theme among women who are entering their 40s, because the first sentence of one of the first paragraphs in this essay says, "One of the things I loved about turning 40 was that I could finally say no to all the things I didn't want to do. I was, I thought, a fully formed person who knew her likes and dislikes, her strengths and limitations. As a younger woman, when someone suggested climbing down a rocky cliff to a perfect beach below, I went along, even though my fear of heights inevitably left me clinging to the face of that cliff, waiting to get rescued." And she goes on and on about how all these things happened when she was younger, and then she says, but then I turned 40, and somehow that gave me the freedom to say no. No, I don't really like that sushi much. No, I don't want to learn to surf in those giant crashing waves. No, no, no. And that speaks to me, because if you ask my husband, he will tell you that I am a true guardian of my free time now, and I say no way more than I say yes, and not in a mean way or an angry way, just I guard my time, and If it's something that's going to take away time from the people that I love or the things I love doing, I'm going to say no. Because we do not have infinite time on this earth, and I never want to feel like I wasted so much of it doing things that I didn't want to do or that made me uncomfortable. I want to live my life how I feel I'm meant to live my life and what my soul aches to do. More often than not, I'm saying no, thank you. I hope your July is wonderful. I'm looking forward to having some mom time when my kids are away to get some of these projects done, but you know, if the moment calls me to bake a cake or, you know, rip up the carpeting, I might do that too. I look forward to sharing whatever it is I get myself into with all of you in the next video in a couple weeks, and I hope you are doing well. Bye.